This is the Ring of Honor, a.k.a. Shane T, boy, the baddest champion you ever seen, boy.
This is Mr. Anderson.
This is good old JR Jim Ross, and you are listening.
You're listening to Knockouts in 3 Counts.
Cover! We got a Cover World Champion!
That might be one of the craziest knockouts I've ever seen in my life.
Knockouts in 3 Counts is the podcast, baby! It's the real deal, baby!
Knockouts in 3 Counts starts now.
Ooh, what up, though? It's another Thursday. This is Knockouts and 3 Counts, and it's almost Friday, bitches, but we've got a cool guest tonight with us, man. We got a long time coming. We've got the man, the myth, the legend, his guy, James Campbell from Dave and Chuck the Freak. How you doing, brother, man?
Not too bad, man. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate you guys taking the time and letting me come on here and ramble about some wrestling and stuff with you guys.
Hey, man, I appreciate the time. Like I said, I mean, we've been talking about this since Astronomicon a few years ago when Devin and I went and we interviewed old brother Love, who you can see directly behind me, and Eric Bischoff and Booker T that day. I mean, I've seen you there. You've been there. How many years in a row have you been there at this point?
I've been doing stuff for the Astronomicon guys since it's like fruition, man. I've been doing stuff with them along with the show and the Wrif. We've always been involved since Astronomicon's been around. Those guys are a great bunch of guys to know. They love wrestling. They love horror. They love all that cool stuff. And they always put on such a great con. But it sounds like you had a busy time trying to get all those interviews in. Me, I hang around. I get some listeners to come around and do some sort of a weird stunt or play a weird game. And then I make a couple of phone calls and record a couple commercials. And, my day's done. Then I might end up hosting some sort of a trivia or a little event. And then peace out. I get to enjoy the day. It sounds like you got your plate full when you go out to those cons.
Hey, man, I'm still trying out. We're trying to get our name out over here, bro. I mean, it worked out good. So that was actually funny, right? Because the whole reason that got lined up. What up, Donald? I see you in the comments, man. Checking in with us every week, man. I'll probably have the chat at you when we get talking about ICW. But yeah, so we went to the Pritchard and Bischoff did the I forgot what they're called, the Dirty Dozen dinner. Right. So you could like ask them any questions you wanted or whatever. So it was cool. They just told a whole bunch of stories or whatever. And they saw us there and recognized us from the con. And then we're like, hey, tomorrow, if you're going to be at the Podcast Detroit table, we'll come over there. And dude, we literally got to chat with them for like 35 minutes, dude. It was dope.
That's awesome. That's very cool. That's very generous of them to give you that much time too.
That's what I'm saying. Like I never expected that. It was cool, especially with Bischoff being here from Detroit. That was cool. We talked about, we've gotten to chat with him a couple times at this point, being out in Baltimore with AEW at StarCast and stuff. But that one was really cool. But speaking of Astronomicon, dude.
Yeah.
We also got to chat with one Brutus the Barber, Beefcake.
Yeah, we did. I think we had a couple. We had a bit of a different type of chat, though. I think.
Yeah, the chat that I had.
I've been waiting to hear this. I want to hear this from you.
So, it's a little bit of a while ago. Now, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, there's also in the description, there's the link to our interview with Brutus Beefcake, where I got to ask him a whole bunch of stuff. Hey, we got people in the YouTube Flamethrower, Daddy James.
Hey, what up? Odd Man Out, Man Thong Mafia representing there.
Hey, man. Like I say, go ahead. It's funny because we got to interview him, and then I seen you walking up, and I'm like, oh shit. I was like, what is he about to get into? And I'm like, and you told me what's going on. I'm like, damn, you're really gonna let him cut your hair?
Yeah, dude. So, what more of a legendary person could you ever get a haircut from? You know what I'm saying?
I'm not mad at you.
Come on, you gotta get the haircut by Brutus the Barber Beefcake, baby. Like growing up, that was like my best friend who lived across the street from me when we were watching wrestling. Brutus the Barber was his man, and he was his favorite wrestler. I remember he had the action figure, and I just remember his involvement with the breakup of the Rockers. Like that's one of the first most emotional moments I've had with like professional wrestling is, oh my God, the Rockers, they're breaking up. Shawn Michaels is doing his own thing. He just kicked the crap out of Marty Jannetty. He threw him through the glass window.
Yep.
It's such a defining moment in wrestling history, at least in my brain. I was like, I got to get the haircut by Brutus.
So
hey, we still don't know. Maybe Marty Jannetty tried to escape the barbershop. Okay, that's what I was told.
That's what they're okay. That's what probably Shawn Michaels' lawyers.
That's probably what
story.
happened, right?
Yeah.
You ask Shawn these days. That's probably what happened.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Who knows if he can even remember?
Right.
He's
had some pretty
big
big
bumps.
His hair. You see his haircut as of late? Wow.
Who's that? Who's hair?
Shawn Michaels.
I thought he pretty much lost his hair.
He went bald pretty much, bro.
No hair whatsoever.
Bozo look. He lets it grow out.
Yeah, man. He's pretty much bald. Far cry from the Heartbreak Kid, huh?
Yeah, well, he's still breaking hearts, though. He's still got that charisma, man.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Not coming from my experience. I mean, like he's, I'm not saying he's still got that hold on me, but I'm telling you, there's ladies that are still
he's in
taking their panties
WWE,
off
man.
and throwing them at him at shows, I bet.
What up, Jerry?
Breaking hearts in more ways than one. That's for
absolutely,
sure.
Yeah.
So, Jerry saying he recognized the voice and all that. Let's talk a little bit about your day job a little bit, man. So you're on Dave and Chuck the Freak every morning.
Absolutely, yeah.
You guys are fun as hell to listen to.
Well,
I've been listening to them since 89X. And obviously now that they've come over to 101 The Wrif, it was crazy when I was doing a little bit of research before we came on, like how long you guys have been at 101 The Wrif at this point. Because it seems like it hasn't been that long, but that's crazy.
Almost. Yeah, it's time flies, I'll tell you, especially when you're working with those guys. It's a fun job. There's a fun guys to work with and be around. It's you're going in, like the hardest part of my gig is to wake up in the morning, like trying to get up in the morning. Then you show up and you're just like you're BSing with your friends for a few hours, and you edit a podcast, and then you go home and work on some other stuff. Work on other content and videos and things like that. But yeah, I mean they've been around for a long time, starting at 89X, across the border in Windsor, across the border in Detroit. Eventually moving over to WRIF, taking over mornings in Detroit, and now the show spread to Boston. We're on in Fort Myers and Tampa as well as Detroit too. So. We're slowly sticking our fingers everywhere we possibly can.
What time do you get there?
I roll in between 5 and 5:30. Sometimes a little later in the mornings, but typically around that time. You get in there and start looking for weird news stories and making sure, Dave and Lisa and Chuck have things they need to read to pay the bills, sponsor stuff, commercial stuff, and things like that.
So with you being with them for so long, dude, there's got to be like certain shows or either it be certain moments or anything. What are some things over your time with Dave and Chuck the Freak that stick out to you of either stuff that's happened on the show, on air, or stuff you guys have been at?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, man. There's so many moments. One thing that always stick out for me, the very first event that I did for them was the little man on the street bit. They sent me out to like the Twilight movie premiere at the movie theater. And I didn't know anything about Twilight. I'm like, I don't know what this is. Dave's like, hey, why don't you just go out to see if you can find a movie theater to let you come out and talk to some of the people that are going to be seeing this Twilight movie. Like, what's the deal with Twilight? Why are they into it? And Dave's like, it's about sparkly vampires. And I'm like, WTF, man? Like, what? So then, I get out to this movie theater and I'm just like on fire, man. I've never been in the zone like that before in my life. And that I think is what kind of landed me the gig to keep doing stuff with them. So down the line through the years, coming up with crazy things to do with listeners, giving away tickets. I've done everything from shaving eyebrows to shaving asses and attaching the ass hair to a stranger's head with hair gel.
Oh my god!
All the way to selling dildos on the street of Detroit, going downtown Detroit, trying to sell dildos out of a backpack. To going to the gathering of the Juggalos. The guys in Twisted and our friends over at Astronomicon brought me out to the gathering of the Juggalos. It's all from being a part of the show and working with those guys.
So we got go ahead, Corey.
You bring up some of these more interesting contests and stuff, and even frankly the news stories and stuff. You had kind of brought that up. What's it like having to do all the research and planning for these contests and stuff? Where do you come up with some of these ideas?
Well,
or is it all fan driven for the most
part?
So,
some of it's like my brain is wired. If I could speak Japanese, I feel like I'd be creating crazy Japanese television shows because it's just the way my mind works. So it's just coming up with a weird idea, or like sometimes I'll just be going on my phone on the Wish app. And then a pair of like a 2-person pair of underwear will show up. And I'm like, oh man, we got to buy a bunch of these underwear. And then we got to make people like wear them face to face and have them do like weird things. So that way, like you're getting weird and intimate with like your bro, which is typically kind of an uncomfortable thing, but you'll forego that comfort to have a chance to win whatever the prize is, type stuff like that. My biggest challenge with that is getting things approved by legal. I'm still waiting for the approval on the wheel of pain, which is you going toe to toe with different piercings, eyebrow, nose, penis, tongue, and you have like a little showdown. When somebody taps out and they're like, I'm not going to get my dick pierced, then all right, well, you're out. We got three players left. Spin the wheel,
And what is winners usually get? What, like concert tickets and stuff like that?
It depends. The big prize that our show's been able to give out was a year's supply of sausage and Faygo. So, that's the highlight that we've really been giving away. But no, we've been able to give away cash and some other stuff.
Would you guys get your dick pierced for a year's supply of sausage?
Well, we'd have to get like a bigger prize for like the wheel of pain there. But there's different cash contests and tickets and stuff. But for the most part, so if I'm out on site and we're doing crazy things like shaving asses, and I call that the ass hair toupee. So if I'm applying ass hair toupees, it's usually for like really hot tickets. That would be like if Wrestlemania came to Detroit at Ford Field or LCA or whatever venue that it is that they would book. We'd have like second or third row tickets, so we'd be doing stuff like that. Like it's bigger, cooler prizes. But we always joke about the year's supply of sausage.
What's the craziest one you've ever done, you think?
Let's see. The craziest giveaway. Well, we did like hot pants for hot tickets, and this is when Blink-182 reunited. And so we had people meet at like an adult novelty store, and at this adult novelty store, we had.
I met you at one of those times for tickets for some shit. I forgot.
Did you really? Okay, look at that. You might have witnessed it. But anyways, so we were making everybody throw on like hot pants, like those cheeky underwears. Men, women, whatever. You had to put on these underwear, and you had to get cars to stop. We had making you do something to get the cars to do something. And I remember one of the dudes comes running out, like he put on this crazy red lipstick, like he looked like something straight out of Silence of the Lambs. And he's hopping around and bouncing, trying to get these cars to stop. And his nuts just fly right out of his shorts. So this guy's balls are just bouncing around. I'm on the phone or on the mic, like with Dave and Chuck back in the studio, trying to keep it together, but letting them also know that this dude's nuts is just falling out while cars are driving by this busy road at 7-8 o'clock in the morning for rush hour traffic. But that's probably one of the crazier ones up there.
Traffic. Oh my god!
Says he wanted driving me for Christmas.
Yeah, he did. He was part of my White Unicorn holiday extravaganza over on my Twitch channel. That's Odd Man Out. I was one of the members of the Manthong Mafia, which is my gaming community that we have. And as a way to give back to those guys for supporting my Twitch streams and supporting my content creation, we had a little holiday gathering. And of course, it's not going to be Christmas if I'm not giving out some sort of a dildo. So.
As somebody who's lame and just turned the box off myself so that I could get on this interview with you, what games are we talking? What if someone
the game I play the most?
The
game I play the most that most people probably either they trash or they've never heard of. It's called Royale. It's much like in the same vein of Fortnite. Mm-hmm. It's a battle royale style game, but it's got a lot of elements.
Where you turn into the chicken?
Yeah, you get you get that down but not out opportunity where they turn into the buck, and then if you stick around, you go run around as this little chicken, and if you stay alive for like 15 seconds, you turn back into yourself and you get your guns and stuff back. It's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun playing that in the community. But you guys should play it. I'm telling you, play it. It's a bummer because the gaming company behind it, they haven't put a ton of time. Actually, they put no time. They put no energy into like upkeep anymore. But we're hoping everybody's got their fingers crossed that they're doing something. They put out a survey. They released some stats that this game is doing a little bit better than what their other games are. So we're hoping that they're going to put some time into it. It's kind of been like a grassroots movement just to try to keep people active and playing the game. And we've kind of nurtured that a little bit with my gaming community. But that's the game I play the most. But I'm down. I play a little Call of Duty. I've been playing Metroid Dread. I got a Switch, so I play a bunch of different things. But Sunday nights I've been playing this game called Grounded, which is essentially it's Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, but it's a survival crafting type game where you're a little kid and you're in your backyard and you're trying to get you find these little microchips for this robot to help you get transformed back into your regular size self.
Yeah, the last time I tried playing that was the bird update. I tried playing it when the bird update came out. And that was the
really?
last
See,
time
I don't know anything about the
Grounded.
updates, but we just found there's a crazy. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Battletoads. You guys got to be familiar with Battletoads, right?
I'm a gameaholic over here. So
Corey goes through all the Game Pass stuff. I self-admittedly am Call of Duty. I play Apex. I like the sports games, but for the most part, I end up playing Call of Duty and Apex for the most part.
All right, you're like the bro games. You're like, yeah, you're down with the bro games.
I'll be completely honest.
I know.
I'll be
all of these games I'm so familiar with so much, and then 99% of my gaming time spent playing PUBG still. So I can't talk
PUBG,
shit over here.
yeah, man.
I still can't talk shit.
So.
I'll be completely honest with you guys. Anytime I play Call of Duty, I have the worst anxiety of my fucking life.
Do you really?
Every fucking time.
I don't get anxiety. I get rage because you got those 13-year-old kids that are just so much better than you.
I don't know what it is. It's just like the anticipation of like just being sniped or like just ran up on and meleeed. It's just like, dude, I can't hang. I guess. I mean, I don't know what. I'm gonna stick to Madden and Fortnite. I guess. I don't fucking know.
Dude. Well, I mean, if you can handle Fortnite, you should be able to handle Call of Duty.
Well, that's the thing. Well, here's the thing. Fortnite. I'm the guy that doesn't build. Okay.
Oh, I hate building. That's why I don't like Fortnite. That's why
I don't like Fortnite
if I get into the whole build fight thingy, I'm just like, you know what? Just go ahead. Just kill.
Dude, Royale is the perfect game for you. There's no building.
Yeah.
And also,
you would enjoy that.
Yeah. When you crack open chests, you get weapons and you get these runes, these abilities that help you in battle. If you don't want them, guess what? You disenchant them and you get these things called shards. And then you take the shards to a forge and you craft weapons and abilities that you want. Plus, you get to ride around on a mount so you can summon a horse. I have a fantastic, very mythical unicorn I ride around on. So it's crazy because you see a guy like a crazy demon skin riding a pink unicorn, you know? Yeah, but I'm telling you, if you play Fortnite, you hate the building aspect, check out Royale. I wish High Res was cutting me a check the way I put their game.
I'm here to play
that was a really entertaining game. But same deal. It fell off my radar, but that was a very entertaining game.
Yeah, but PUBG's back, right? PUBG's like in its 1.0 version, I believe now, to where I think I paid $30 to play a demo, and now it's like free to play. I'm like, what the heck?
It's amazing to me as somebody who's been playing it throughout its whole lifespan on Xbox, and it's amazing to me now that they've went the whole free to play model and it actually had the amount of success that it has. I really thought like most of the gaming community has already been exposed to the game. Why would they bother returning? Even if it is now free to play, they probably purchased it 2 years ago. Why would they bother coming to a 3-year-old game at this point? And as somebody who plays it pretty steadily, I get to play with a lot more low-level players than I ever have. I mean, if you go back 6 months ago, it was all, top-ranked players that have just been grinding the game out since it's been out. And the free-to-play model definitely worked in their favor in this one.
Well, good.
Sure.
So it's good to hear they brought some more players in.
All right, so something else we got to talk about is in doing my vast research as I like to go out the box on these deals. Bro, I noticed that you got a lot of different food tasting stuff on there, dude. From
yeah. For some reason, people like to hear what I have to say about snack foods.
Hell yeah, man. So tell me about that. Where does the inspiration for the different videos come from, or is it just whatever tickles your fancy that day?
Well, so I just try to think like if I was going on YouTube and I was going to watch some fat boy tell me about snacks, what snacks would I want this fat boy to tell me about? And I'll see something that I think is weird or unique, and I'll pick it up. But anything Taco Bell puts out is that's an easy one. Taco Bell is by far my favorite fast food restaurant. I worship Taco Bell like you wouldn't believe. So
you praise the altar of the bell.
Yeah, man, the cheesy gordita crunch is it's a God's gift to man. If you ask me, the cheesy gordita crunch. Thank you, whoever created it. That person deserves many dollars, but I wish they would bring the price down a little bit because they're getting a little crazy. Taco Bell.
By my wife's discretion, that's where our money went to tonight as well.
Yeah,
Taco Bell. So
yeah, baby. I mean, R.I.P. to your toilet later, but hey, man, it was good eating at the time. But yeah, I don't know. People like to hear me talk about snack foods, and I mean, I think I have a weird way of looking at stuff. I always try to find ways to describe things as if like one flavor banged another flavor. and then try to find a weird way to describe like the baby that it made or how it's interacting with my taste buds and things like that.
Your muscles are just really supple. Your boys are looking out.
Odd Man Out. He's a fanboy
that.
for real, man. He's a good dude. But yes, thank you, Odd Man Out. He's always hyping me up when I talk bad about my body. He wants to make sure I have a positive,
good
body
positive
image on myself.
body
Image.
Hell yeah. I love it, dude. Well, the other thing we got to talk about before we talk about a little bit of wrestling, because a couple other people that follow you told us they want to hear your thoughts on the Royal Rumble. But with that being said, dude, we were talking about this before we went live, but you got a fucking flamethrower. First of all, I'm jealous as fuck. Second of all, what cool shit have you thought of to go and try and do with that other than the snow removal? Because just that alone looked pretty fucking badass.
To be honest, the only other cool thing I thought about doing with it is to burn weeds. Like that's, I'm like, instead of spraying it with the killer and just waiting a week and checking to see if it's dead, I could just roast those sons of bitches right now. But yeah, and also before everybody's like, oh my God, he's got a flame. I didn't drop like 5 G's on an Elon Musk flamethrower. It's not military grade. This is available at any big box hardware store or home improvement store. It's essentially like for roof tarring and things like that. But it's still a flamethrower. I know there's a few people that have reached out to me. They say they can modify it to where it has a bigger flame. But let me use this one first and not burn my crotch off or burn the house down before we take the governor off.
I imagine it would be something like cracking out a lighter where you go to crank it up and you may crank it just a little too high, and next thing you know, you go to light something and you end up lighting your eyebrows on fire.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm trying to avoid that happening. And then if I let somebody tinker with it, who knows, where that could lead to. But yeah, no, the flamethrower we talked about on the show. I think somebody had a flamethrower they were using to melt some snow or whatever. And I went viral like years ago. Snow blowing in a man thong. I was snow blowing in a man thong with a Darth Vader mask and a lightsaber. And so ever since then, whenever we get some big snow, I always do something weird in terms of putting on a man thong.
How could that not go viral, right? How could that
exactly
not go viral?
It should have went more viral. I'm disappointed that it didn't go as viral as what I was hoping it would.
You know that whole Welcome to Michigan billboard?
Yeah.
I've always said that we need to find a viral like digital video of put that on the bill. Welcome to Michigan, and that would be perfect.
There you go. I'm down. Find somebody that can set it up and let's make it happen.
Especially coming from Ohio.
Yeah, there you go. We're gonna establish our dominance, Ohio. That's right.
Exactly.
Hey man, let's go back to the GCW shows, bro. They fuck Ohio over there every time you're at a GCW show. But with that being said, anybody who's new here, haven't been around, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit the subscribe button, all that good shit. I promise you it actually helps, especially now that I will announce we're going completely solo. Thanks to the people at Blue Wire Hustle. We were with them for a little bit, but now we are completely solo. So anybody that wants to sponsor this fine podcast again, DMs are open. Anyways, like I said, man, there was a lot of people wanting to know your thoughts on the Royal Rumble. So are you a lifelong wrestling fan, my man? Or tell me where you're at with wrestling.
So I'm more into wrestling now than I think I have been in a long time. I was Attitude Era. That was my stuff, man. That was my Kool-Aid. I drank it every week. Monday Night Raw, Sunday Night Heat, Raw's Warzone, all that stuff. I ate that up like a mofo between The Rock and Stone Cold. And then I realized, like in high school, the chicks that I was chasing were not into wrestling. It was definitely like a check against me. So I was like, you know what? I would like to have the experience of the company of a fine young lady of age appropriateness, to hang out with. So I kind of put it on the back burner, and I've picked it back up within like the last 5 years, I think, or so. So I've kind of got back into it, and I tune in every week. I watch Raw, I watch SmackDown, I try to catch AEW when I can, and I'm kind of confused as to what the heck's going on in NXT. I know WWE and WWE properties have some of their issues and stuff, but yeah, I'm into it. I go to the shows when they're here live. I try to support local stuff, IWR, Rhino's wrestling thing, and there's a couple other ones. I'm embarrassed that I'm drawing blanks on that I've been out to and seen before.
So speaking of that, do you remember the CWF when you and I originally met. I think it was the CWF.
Championship Wrestling League, CWL.
Yeah, that was it. CWL. I couldn't remember the letters. Yeah, I remember that. It was just funny as hell, man.
Big C and Matt Stryker.
I remember that.
Stryker. Wow.
Dude, I remember linking up with you guys outside a SmackDown, I think it was.
At Harry's Bar. Bar. Yeah, we had like a little. I was the guy on the mic, like, hey, everybody, come check out. Come meet. What was the name of the guy that was like kind of partnered up with Carmella for a while?
Big Cass.
No, it was a different guy.
Or Ellsworth, yeah.
No.
Ellsworth. We got Ellsworth, and we got Brian Pillman Jr. And I don't know. It was a weird type of thing to try to promote and get the word out there before the SmackDown event. But yeah, that was a learning experience because I had never been involved in like a wrestling promotion other than watching it. So to be able to be involved with that, I learned a lot. I had a kind of a rough experience going through that. The way Matt Stryker handles himself, it's different than how I would have handled it, so to say. Like, I thought there'd be a little bit more communication, and I really wasn't like as tuned into like the commentary. Like, you still have the good guy and the bad guy. You have a heel and a face and commentary as well. And he was definitely playing the heel. I was supposed to play the face, but I was trying to play myself, like Wild Man, Man-Thong enthusiast James from Dave and Chuck. And I wasn't picking up on some of the stuff he was doing, and it just it was just a rough go to make a long story short. Is what
you can't win them all. You can't win them all.
Yeah.
I had to ask because I know they only lasted a few shows, but man, it's crazy because now every time I've seen Brian Pillman since, like, it's like we'd like every time
you see him on TV, man. Like, yeah. I'm happy. I'm so happy for him to see him on TV. You know, part of the Varsity Blondes. So.
Yep. I mean, like
cool.
I said, he's, you know, when that was happening, you know, he was still doing his thing with MLW and all that stuff. So like you said, I mean, definitely props to Brian Pillman Jr. You know, obviously, you know, the Varsity Blondes are owed to his dad's team with old Stone Cold, you know, the Hollywood Blondes.
Yeah.
For those of you who weren't the biggest wrestling historians. But with that being said, like we were talking about, you know, you said you went to the Royal Rumble in Arizona, you know.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this year's Rumble? And I guess it probably would be a good thing that these belts are here because, it probably wouldn't work for me with the females because J-Bone and I won us like, what was it, $360 off them Rumbles? So hell yeah.
Whatever 180 times 2 is, I don't have time to do the math, but
180 times 2, that's 360, yeah.
All I know
see
is
that math. See that?
All I know is I ate. All I know is I ate very, very good that week, and I gained a little weight down here and right here.
Well, very nice. Well, congratulations, guys.
Hey, dude.
Yeah. So, what did I think of the? Well, first of all, the Royal Rumble. If you want to know which Royal Rumble I was at, if you go back on the WWE Instagram, you'll see a picture of Seth Rollins jumping up because he won the Royal Rumble, and behind him, in the distance, you'll see a cardboard cutout of my head just hanging in the background. So, there's proof that I was there. It was on TV. I still get people tagging me on posts when they play old clips from that Royal Rumble, and you just see my head bobbing around in the audience. But on this year's Royal Rumble, it was okay. I would say I think they started the Royal Rumble off amazingly. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins. I thought that I enjoyed the match. I loved the shit out of Seth Rollins coming out to the Shield music, coming through the crowd. That was dope. Like, I thought that was awesome. I thought it was a great match. I enjoyed it. Disappointed with how it ended. But, you know, it's just the way it goes, I feel, with some wrestling matches. The ladies Royal Rumble, I thought kicked ass. I was excited when Ronda Rousey came out. That might be a hot take, but whatever. I got no problem with Ronda Rousey being in there. And also, I think the people who get bent out of shape about her being involved don't understand the point of professional wrestling, at least at the level that WWE is at. It's all about getting attention, getting people to pay attention to you, getting people to notice you. And that's one thing that I definitely think Ronda Rousey will bring to the table with the WWE. Now, the rest of the pay-per-view is kind of foggy, ups and downs. I think the Becky Lynch beat Doudrop, like, who didn't see that coming? I feel that wasn't, you know, that unpredictable. And like, who else was wrestling? I don't remember the card.
You had Beth Phoenix and Edge versus Miz and Maurice. You had
dozed
Roman
off,
versus...
so I couldn't even tell you what happened during that match. I must have dozed off.
That match had a weird spot on the show, did it not?
I thought that would be the match to like kick off the show, because then you also honestly had Becky and Doudrop that just seemed kind of like oddly placed.
You know what I was wondering, Kyle, and maybe you could touch on this, because I don't know, the times and all that. I don't know. I don't understand there's a time for matches, but I thought maybe they put that match just before that men's rumble, just in case time ran short. That's what I thought. I thought maybe they were going to come up with something, because we were sitting right here in my living room. We were talking about, where is that match? And we're like, I'm thinking maybe the time's running short, and if they need to scratch it, that would be the match to scratch, right? You can't scratch a title match.
Because you just bring them in, somebody could get squashed real quick, and then clear the ring and make room for the big rumble. I get what you're saying.
Just an odd spot on the card.
My big issue with the whole pay-per-view is you build it up. Of course, it's the Royal Rumble. That's what the pay-per-view squared around. The women's one was much better, except for the finale of it. But really, my big issue was it was so predictable. I mean, we did a whole lead up to it, and we kind of named who we thought was going to win, and sure enough, I think in each of the cases, 2 of the 3 of us picked right. So a little too predictable in my book. That would be my biggest thing, my biggest gripe, I guess.
I'll be honest with you, dude. I thought Bianca Belair was going to have a better, and Sasha for that matter. The way that she came out at the end, I thought she was going to have a much better showing, though.
So DraftKings puts out like a free picks for these things. Bianca Belair is who I picked, win everything, so I got no points. I didn't even win a quarter on my DraftKings pick. And Sasha Banks definitely made some anime nerds, pitch a tent in their pants with her, her ring attire that night. Even I'm not even a Sailor Moon fan, and I was like, "Damn, Sasha Banks."
I mean, fine is fine, and Sasha Banks is definitely fine. That just kind of is what it is. I mean, that is what it is. But and that's the thing with the Royal Rumble's placement too, because it's something that Jerry's bringing up in the comments. We found out after the fact, with the men's rumble, it just seems like at this point they've let go of so many people in both matches. It just seemed like they were really strapped for who they could put in there. And especially in the women's rumble, they leaned very heavy on the people that they brought back for the rumble. But in the men's rumble, we saw Shane was really like one of the only real surprises. And now we found out, because of the way Shane booked himself in the Royal Rumble, or at least as it's being reported, Shane McMahon is gone from WWE,
which is weird. Which I don't know. I don't really buy that. If maybe it's real, maybe it's not. But with professional wrestling, you got to remember, it's always a possibility of it being a work,
for sure.
To try to get headlines or whatever. But I thought that was interesting. Yeah, the men's Royal Rumble to me was a snooze fest. I was in and out of consciousness, falling asleep, waking up, falling asleep, waking up. But at the second you hear Brock Lesnar's music hit, you knew, okay, we know he won. He's winning.
I started celebrating that win as soon as the music hit.
Yeah, as soon as my wife predicted, she's like, Brock's gonna show up at the Royal Rumble. Yeah, he's gonna win, and bam.
I mean, at that point in the card, like what else would there be? I mean,
And why would you do the way the whole card played out and the build up to it, and then you got robbed of the title basically and stuff. You've seen the cards getting laid into the deck essentially.
And like I said, like I said last time we talked about it, man, the only thing that could have saved that Royal Rumble from being a snooze fest was to put in different guys. There's guys that we just didn't need in there. Like,
what about Cesaro? Like what?
Cesaro, you could have took out Boogs, because I don't see the point in that. Because
I love Boogs.
I can't stand.
I love Boogs.
Hey, we'll go back to the whole Knoxville thing.
He was so pissed about Knoxville.
Did we really need Johnny Knoxville in the Royal Rumble? Did we need that? What did we accomplish? Because I'm going to see Jackass regardless. Did the Royal Rumble do it for me?
Here's what I think Johnny Knoxville does. It brings a different set of eyeballs to WWE.
Sure.
Like if you watch all the WWE stuff, that's what they talk about. Bringing in Tyson and all these things. They bring these oddball stars to try to get new eyeballs on the product. And that's it just worked hand in hand, because Knoxville was probably like, yeah, I'll take a couple bumps. You're going to talk about my movie. That's a lot of eyes to talk about my movie. So let's have me come in, make some weird thing up with Sami Zayn of all people. And they'll have a little feud, and people will learn about WWE, and then WWE people who aren't already into Jackass will learn about Jackass, or be like, oh my God, those old guys are still hitting themselves in the dick. Oh my God, I got to go see the movie.
How is their dick still alive?
That's a good question.
I would have rather seen Wee Man in the Rumble, to be honest, but that's just me.
Well, yeah, so would that restaurant that they went through the table.
Yeah.
But
I like to go into business for myself, so.
We know that, and you want some of Johnny Knoxville, apparently, dude. But
Knoxville versus J-Bone, book it. The Taj Mahal, book it.
You might surprise it. Knoxville might be able to take quite a bit, man.
I know,
dude.
In real life, Knoxville kicked my ass.
Especially as somebody who happened to get the 2 gimmick picks of the Royal as my picks.
You got fucked 2 out of your 3 picks.
You really lucked out.
I got both Knoxville and Bad Bunny out of the 3 numbers we got. That was 2 of mine. I don't even remember.
Brock could have used Wee Man as
2 either. That's the fucking
exactly.
But with that being said, yeah, if you're gonna bring Knoxville in, he looked decent enough in the whole 30 seconds he was in there, but you do more with it. Same thing with the Bad Bunny thing. He looked decent enough when he was in there.
I was going to say, that was what I was going to say. Bad Bunny,
if you're going to waste a slot, do something with it.
Yeah. Bad Bunny actually did very well, I thought, for what it was. I mean,
for being a celebrity, dude, he's done the best out of the ones they've brought in recent memory.
He gets a lot of praise on the internet for the stuff that he's done at the Royal Rumble and then the past WrestleMania and all that. He does very well for the slot that he was given.
WrestleMania. So
yeah. I'm not mad at that one.
Spot off the top rope onto the ground, didn't he? Sort of
he did. He jumped off the top rope and did a splash off the top rope.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Wow. So Jerry's coming in hot, saying he takes a beach break over Royal Rumble. Well, let me ask you about that. I know you didn't get to check out the full AEW, but what are your thoughts on everything we've seen on the return with CM Punk, who took his first loss to MJF last night, man?
So coming from somebody who I have no experience whatsoever with CM Punk, other than to hear other wrestling fans hype CM Punk up, I'm not that impressed with CM Punk. I get it. Like, boo me, hate me, whatever it is, that's fine. I got nothing but respect for the man, but I haven't seen anything in the ring where I'm like, the GOAT. Yes. Capital GOAT, the GOAT. I'm just always like, oh, okay, CM Punk. Cool. It's cool to see him actually wrestle. It's cool to see him actually wrestle in the ring. But like I said, I don't have any attachment to him. I didn't see him come up through WWE. I don't know the history behind him. All I know of him is hearing people talk about him. But what I'll say about whatever the Beach Bash or whatever that was called, that might have been one of the coolest matches to open up any kind of a wrestling event. Sammy Guevara versus Cody Rhodes.
That match, Cutter was fire,
dude. All those moves that they did off those ladders, like that whole match, I was glued to my seat. Like, holy F, I can't believe this is happening. And then they capped the whole night off, bringing out Danhausen to curse.
Yes, I love Danhausen.
Very nice, very evil.
I love it.
Yeah, that was a cool event to watch. Like, I felt like I was getting a pay-per-view delivered to me on TBS. That was a very cool event that they put on.
So it's funny you say that, right? Because we've talked about this at length on the show, because Corey's first 2 big wrestling shows he ever got to go to, because he's not the biggest wrestling guy. We took him to GCW War Games in Chicago, where they did the War Games match there. And then we were there when Punk returned in Chicago.
Oh, that's a cool show to be at, for sure.
That's what I said. I told him, I was like, if there was a show that I could take you to show you like a badass crowd, this crowd's going to lose their shit when he comes out.
Hometown for CM Punk. Yeah. Debut.
Yeah, dude. And that was quite the crowd. And it's like, that's the thing. I just feel like there's such a difference a lot of times when you go to an AEW crowd versus a WWE crowd, unless you're talking about something like a Royal Rumble, or I was in Vegas for SummerSlam or a WrestleMania or something like that. I feel like a lot of times those AEW crowds are just a lot more fun to be at.
I kind of get that vibe just by seeing them on TV. Like, I feel like they have way more fun at an AEW show. I mean, I have a blast if I go to the WWE.
Me too.
See them live. Yeah. And I feel like the people, everybody at an AEW show is having as much fun as what I have at a WWE show. But I feel like there's times where I'm at a WWE show doing my thing, and like there's like just lamos around. I'm like, come on! I'm like, get up! You got to boo this guy. You know, get up, cheer, do something, get your money's worth.
So, have you gotten to dive much into the deathmatch stuff?
Not so much. No, I know like what that the GCW. I think they just had a show at Harpo's.
They did. That
recently.
Was dope. We were there.
I think was it Sabu? Was Sabu there?
Yep, Sabu was there.
Yeah.
Kevin Nash showed up for a little bit. You had a lot of guys there.
Rhino
you had Ricky Morton from the Rock and Roll Express. Too Cold Scorpio from ECW back in the day was there. You had Effie and Alley Catch, and that was right before the GCW Hammerstein show that they did in New York.
Oh, that Mox was just on.
Yeah, that Mox, that was the one where he returned. He faced Homicide.
Gotcha.
What'd you say? Funnest crowd, hands down, ICW. Yeah, dude. So I keep hearing about ICW. Donald's been talking about them a lot. They've been running here in Michigan. They don't have ropes. They've got chains in ICW.
Wow.
They go hard over there. We're gonna have to talk to a guy who actually was on that GCW card that you were just talking about at Harpo's. Hoodfoot Mo Atlas hopefully will be coming here to a Knockouts and 3 Counts near you real soon. Donald, I know you've been asking for that one for a while, so stay tuned for that. But I know you said you went to the gathering and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you have any JCW experience?
No, that's a Juggalo Wrestling, right?
Yeah.
No, they had they were putting on an event, but either I was at the hotel trying to shower and poop in a non-porta potty environment, or I had something else going on with the Twisted guys and some of the Magic Ninja dudes. But I saw it on the schedule. I saw the ring, but I didn't get to experience any of it, unfortunately.
Dude, JCW is by far one of the craziest things I've ever been to. I only got to go to one show, but we've had so many guests on at this point that have worked with them at some point or another. And I remember it was at the Modern Exchange, and I had just gotten leg surgery, so I'm in a full-on leg cast. And so I got my leg propped up on the thing, and here comes the fucking Necro Butcher with a light tube. And I'm like, well, shit, he's going to smoke this dude, and I can't exactly get up and move. So the only thing I can do is cover up like, oh, shit. I had a great experience. And then there was the weed man that was throwing out his joint in the front row. Like, hell yeah, dude. JCW was the experience. If you were ever around the gathering, you are in for quite the fucking show.
That's funny. That sounds like it would have been a good time, man.
Local boy main event. Go ahead, Corey.
As somebody who's now been to a couple of these local indie shows, both in town and out of town, that's one thing you definitely need to realize walking in that door is objects may come flying at you, whether it be people, whether it be glass, whether it be whatever the case. You keep your head on a swivel. It might be even smart to wear some goggles up in one of those places, because I've had pieces of glass, pieces of light tubes and stuff go flying past my head, and I wasn't even necessarily that close to the actual ring. So that's one thing. It's like going to see a game at Comerica or something. It's like at your discretion. You know, they should have a big sign walking in.
I feel like in a death match, though, there's a lot more chance that you're going to get hit with glass than there is at Comerica. You getting hit with a baseball, though.
Well, now because he got those nets up.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Dude, and I say that because I watch like RPW, and that brings up a good point. You know, as we go into the month of February here, you know, you got Horror Slam coming back up. Past guest of this show, Ring of Honor star, the last real man, Silas Young, is going to be taking on that week's guest, our buddy, the Dread King Logan, for Horror Slam. So have you gotten to check them out at all? I know you said you've gotten to check out a few of the local indies.
Yeah, no, Horror Slam is not one that I've seen, but has been recommended. I have seen the Dread King before. He was at the IWR event I was at. Yeah. I forgot the name of the guy he took on, but he got put through a table pretty hard. It was a great match. Actually, at that show, Connor choke slammed some poor dude, chokeslam some poor dude right through a table covered with Legos. I was like, oh man, that's got to
the audacity.
What's worse, Legos or thumbtacks? In all honesty, I think the Legos might be just up
because
to
they're not going to
snuff,
break the skin. I feel like at least like the thumbtack, it's in there. Okay, you're not going to mess with it, but that just the not breaking the skin almost hurts more than puncturing the skin. I feel like
damn Legos. We don't allow Legos in this house.
Nate coming on in the comment. WWE and
You know what?
Son of a bitch.
Hey, I'm not even surprised. I ain't surprised, motherfuckers. Nate's a good dude, man. That's my dog.
Donald throwing out a few in the comments too, man. We'll definitely be in the
XICW is a league that I've been to a show at. So
XICW is one of the OGs around here, around Michigan, man. Rhino's been over there a ton. Rhino will always be one of my favorites for the fact, like we talked about before, you know, it was funny at that GCW show at Harpo's. I still got a copy of WrestleMania 18 that he gave me when I was 11 that I had to go. Yeah. So my dad used to lift with him and stuff because my dad used to be a power lifter and stuff. I haven't seen him since my dad passed. So I took the tape and had him sign it. I was like, yo, I know you're not going to remember this, but you gave this to me like 20 years ago. So like, it was crazy because he started to put 2 and 2 together. But Rhino, it's cool to see how much he's still around, you know, in the local scene too, because I feel like he helps out a lot of the local guys around here still being able to get out onto the bigger shows, like with him being around Impact and stuff like that too. So, all right, Jerry in the comment. All right, Jerry says if you come to Sanctuary Fight Club, first round's on him.
Actually, it's one on my list. It's one on my list, and I think Joe Coleman and Idris Abraham, those guys I think are involved with that. I know Joe Coleman.
Yeah, Joe Coleman was there at the last show. I was just there.
So, but yeah, man, I love Halal Beefcake. Those guys are one of my favorite tag teams, and I don't know if did something happen to Idris?
I think Idris is hurt because Joe was there. Joe was there and wrestled singles when I was there at the last Sanctuary show.
Because I haven't seen him like really post much about being out and doing stuff, and I know I've seen Joe, the genetic jackpot Coleman, out, kind of doing a solo thing. So I was just curious, and I don't know. Is it appropriate to ask, like, hey, where's the salt on a shawarma? You know, like you get in his face and ask that, or you just kind of let it go. I don't know. I don't know what the proper etiquette is. So, but yeah, no, Sanctuary Fight Club's definitely been on the list. I mean, I follow them on Instagram. I see their posts and stuff. It's just, for me, it's a matter of finding the time to get out there and finding a day that's not like, it's not a school night, like if it's a Monday through Friday, it's like a school night. Like I have to be up, my alarms go off at 3:45 in the morning. So it's hard to get this hunky beauty sleep that I need to maintain this body.
I feel you. That was my thing with going to see them. That was the first show I got to check out, was the last one that I went to. It was cool because it runs on a Sunday. It actually happens to be. So I work at the post office is my day job. So I got weird split off days. So for me, Sunday being my other off day, I was like, well, damn, I can actually go to this one and I don't have to try to get the day off of work and none of that good shit. I totally understand that one. But yeah, dude, Corey, J-Bone, we'll have to see if you guys want to, we'll go check out Horror Slam and see what happens when the Dread King goes head to head with the last real man, Silas Young. Well, before we let you get out of here, man, the other thing that everybody wanted to know, what are you looking forward to seeing at WrestleMania with Elimination Chamber and everything coming up the way it is? How do you want to see everything play out?
Oh man, I haven't even thought that far ahead to WrestleMania, to be honest. Let's see. What are they kind of setting it up right now? They're trying to set up Brock versus Roman, right? The title versus title.
That's where I feel like they're going. I mean, Bobby got the title back, but Brock's going to be in the Elimination Chamber with him. Even though he won the Royal Rumble.
Where else could it go? I mean, come on.
Like I'd be fine if Bobby Lashley held on to the title, but Brock still beats Roman if somehow that works out. But for some reason right now, I'm on Team Brock, and I want to hate Brock Lesnar. But that's the beauty of professional wrestling. You can hate the crap out of somebody, and then 3 months, 4 months, 5 months can go by, and they can bring them back in the right situation. And I'm taking my panties off and throwing them at them. I'm like, yes, welcome back. And that's kind of how I feel with Brock Lesnar right now. And I really loved like Paul Heyman with Roman Reigns when they started that whole thing. I was like, oh, you found a way to make me like Roman Reigns.
Yep.
Oh my God. And now I hate Roman Reigns. You know, I
didn't think they'd switch him back with Roman at the Rumble for sure.
Yeah. That was a big surprise with that that was the one surprise at the Rumble. That
was the big surprise of the night right there.
Yeah, that's worth mentioning. So, but yeah, I don't really know. Like, I'm really bad. People always like want to know predictions and stuff. And I'm the type of like professional wrestling fan where like in my mind, like I pick a winner, like I pick who I think I want to win. But from there, I can't be like, here's what I want to see happening, 2 pay-per-views from now.
I got you.
Just because I know it's still real to some, but there's some scripted stuff involved, hate to break it. Spoiler alert, there's some scripted stuff. So it's hard to like predict what someone's, it's like trying to predict what's going to happen in this Simpsons episode, is how I feel about some of that stuff. So I'm really bad at predictions, but if they do go Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, title versus title, I want to see Brock walk away with 2 titles. So that's what I'll be rooting for WrestleMania. And then who can we build up? Who can we now put on the chase to take down Brock Lesnar? Because it's going to be.
What about Ronda? Who do you want to see Ronda face?
Well, I feel like it's going to be Ronda and Becky Lynch, maybe a couple matches. At least I feel. Did she announce?
You think she's going with Becky? Because she said on Friday she's going to give her answer. So I feel like the fact that she's even going to SmackDown, I feel like we're going to go with Charlotte or maybe another triple threat or something.
I can see that, but I felt like it would make more sense because Becky's the one that took the title away when she
agree
left,
100%.
To go have a baby. So now she's got something to prove. She wants to get it back, and I feel like they could milk that whole thing for at least a couple of pay-per-views. I
agree 100%.
If they don't throw it away, like I feel like
I see what you did there. Milk that whole thing, the tale of 2 mothers, right? I like that.
I hear breast milk does the body good. I haven't tried it, but I've heard it.
I like it.
Hey, I can't say I've tried it either, at least not in a long while. But all right, man, we've kept you almost an hour, dude. I appreciate the time. Hopefully this won't be the last time we have you come on there. Last thing I'll get you out of here on who wins the Super Bowl.
Who wins the Super Bowl? Well, I'm going to root for Stafford. He did his time. He was in jail in Detroit for so long. He's been released. Now go bang those bitches, go win that title and, have something to celebrate. But yeah, I'm going to root for Stafford in the Super Bowl. I got no skin in the game either way. I just watch it. I'm one of those lamos. Like I watch it for the commercials and I watch it to have an excuse to smoke weed and eat snacks. That's my whole.
What about the halftime show? The halftime show is going to be off.
Oh, it's going to be great. Snoop Dogg. Yeah. Snoop, Double G, Dr. Dre, and the whole crew. It's like Up in Smoke 2001.
That one guy from Michigan. What's his name?
Eminem, baby.
Right?
Now that guy. Yeah, that guy. So,
all right, Corey, J-Bone, who are you picking? Is it the Rams or the Bengals?
So this is the rarest of occasions, especially as somebody who constantly roots for underdogs in the league and teams that haven't been predominantly just championship reigning teams and stuff. It's a rare occasion to me where I'm like, I have been rooting for both teams throughout the playoffs. So it's hard for me to like be like,
you gotta pick your favorite kid now.
Yeah, I bet the only team I was rooting for maybe more was the Bills, and they were out. So Cincinnati took that one real quick from it. Honestly, I root to your point because I want to see Stafford do well. He tried his hardest here while he was in Detroit. We all know the hellhole that is Detroit sports for the most part, and he's done a great job in just his first season there. I would love to see him do it, but at the same point, it's hard to really root against Cincinnati, man. They got young Joe Burrow coming in there looking like he's just ready to shoot a rap video or something. He's got his cold ass coats
Joe
on,
Smooth,
iced out chains and stuff. It's hard to root against Cincinnati, man. It really is.
Just think about that chili with the cinnamon in it.
Yeah,
there's something to root against.
Yeah,
Cincinnati Skyline chili, baby.
I like both teams in this one. It's going to be the rarest of occasions where I'm happy either way, but I do kind of want to see Stafford walk out with the ring.
All right, J-Bone, who wins?
Man. Look, man, I can't even believe I'm going to say this on here, but one, I'm cool with it either way, whatever. But I'll tell you this. I may have made a little wager a long time ago that the Bengals were going to win the Super Bowl. So I may have a little bit heavier pockets if they win. Big money Joey B makes big money J-Bone. But if Stafford wins, I am totally okay with it because, like you said, the guy has done his time. And if this proves at any point in time that Detroit is the worst football franchise of all time, this is the year because look what he's doing without us.
Look, dude, I look at this the same way as I did when Verlander left. If this doesn't tell you that Detroit sports management needs to change a little bit, I mean, JV leaves here, gets him a fucking ring.
Come on.
Stafford leaves here in his first season. And here's the part of it that like hurts me in my soul even worse. If you really think about it, analyze the team that the Rams have right now. You got Odell Beckham Jr., who would be the equivalent to him having Calvin Johnson while he was here. You got
even less so, I feel like.
I'm just saying, if you just compare apples to apples, and then you got the young upstart, which you can at least name 3 or 4 that they put there in that time in Cup. You could have done that shit in the Lions if we would have just had a full team, but that's the story of every Detroit team. We have like pieces on every team, but we never have like the full team. Or if we have the full team, our fucking coach sucks or something like that. Yeah. So, I mean, damn it. I got to go with Stafford. Wanting to see him win one. I'm not going to lie. I want to see Stafford get him a ring. But like Corey said, I feel like the momentum is totally on Cincinnati's side because I was laughing my ass off last week when Stafford and them had a 20-point fucking lead and they still managed to do a Stafford in the fucking playoffs and they had to win by 3 points.
Yep.
So I feel like this is going to be a lot closer game than the numbers say it should be. I'm going to go with the Rams on this one, but I totally would like to I wouldn't be mad if Cincinnati wins, dude. And I see all you guys in the comments. Shout out to Sean Stockmeyer, Face Kicked Apparel, who did our shirts with the great design from our friend, the American Kaiju, Lindsay Snow. But yeah, man, I've flapped my gums enough here, and I don't want James to turn into the Peacemaker on me. So until next time, and in the in-between time, man, hey, dude, I appreciate the time. Hopefully it won't be the last time we bring you on here.
Yeah, you know how to get a hold of me, man. So
hell yeah, brother.
I appreciate you taking the time and having me join you guys. It's been a good time.
Hell yeah, let everybody know where they can find you real quick other than Dave and Chuck the Freak. Tell them about where they can find you there too.
All right. Well, most importantly, Dave and Chuck the Freak, make sure you check them out weekday mornings if you're in Detroit on 101 WRIF. We're also on in Boston, Fort Myers, and Tampa. DaveandChuckTheFreak.com for all the info on that. And you can find me over at whothefisjc.com. And any social media platform that matters at whothefisjc. So, thank you guys.
That makes it easy. I mean, what the F? Until Tuesday. Peace.